Inquisitor.
Let's see what we have. Let us begin. Let's see what we have. Yes?
What do the people make of us?
There's scarcely a noble house that hasn't openly pledged its support to us.
Let's speak later.
Goodbye. A pleasure.
What do the people make of us?
There's scarcely a noble house that hasn't openly pledged its support to us.
Any thoughts on the people here?
Who did you mean?
I was thinking of Cassandra.
Seeker Pentagast is a princess of the Kingdom of Nevarra, although that barely seems important to her. She was not interested when I asked if we might make use of her royal relations. Still, the Inquisition would not have formed without Cassandra. She's an extraordinarily driven woman. Goodbye.
Something you wanted to talk about?
Carry on.
For judgment this day, Inquisitor, I must present Captain Tom Rainier, formerly known to us as Warden Blackwall. His crimes... well, you are aware of his crimes. The decision of what to do with him is yours.
I didn't think this would be easy, but it's harder than I thought.
Another thing to regret. Using your ties to the underworld to free me. You're a criminal, same as me. The world will learn how you've used your influence. They'll know the Inquisition is corrupt.
Once the world is back to normal, no one will even remember this.
I'll remember. I accepted my punishment. I was ready for all this to end. Why would you stop it? What becomes of me now?
You have your freedom.
It cannot be as simple as that.
It isn't. You're free to atone as the man you are, not the traitor you thought you were, or the warden you pretended to be.
The man I am. I barely know him. But I have a lot to make up for. If my future is mine, then I pledge it to the Inquisition. My sword is yours. If I'd said anything less, would an arrow from the rookery have snuffed me like a candle?
Take your post, Tom Rainier.
I told them the offer was the best. And of course they said no. What's the joke? They think we're too remote to do anything about it. I'm listening.
Anything I should know?
Celine has cemented power in Orlais. Good, we need an ally like her. At the moment, she's said to be rooting out the last of Gaspard's supporters. Once that is done, we will have a united Orlais behind the Inquisition.
I'll leave you to your work.
Inquisitor?
How shall I refer to you? Rainier or Blackwall?
I've gotten used to Blackwall. Perhaps we could treat it as less of a name and more of a title. Almost like Inquisitor. Reminds me of what I ought to be.
Everyone needs something to aspire to.
Exactly. I'm glad you understand.
Nothing right now. Perhaps in a bit.
Maker and lady. Griffith is taking the lot of them apart.
The Inquisition is on its way.
Still waiting for your letter of marque or commendation or whatever?
Inquisitor.
With an illuvion, Corypheus could cross into the Fade in the flesh.
Indeed. The Inquisitor can attest that these artifacts still work if one knows how to use them.
What happens when Corypheus enters the Fade?
Why, he will gain his heart's desire. Or, and this is more likely, the lunatic will unleash forces that tear the world apart.
I won't allow it. I can't.
Indeed, should Corypheus succeed, do not doubt you would be first to feel his holy wrath.
Pardon me, but does this mean everything's lost unless we get to the Illuvian before him?
Corypheus has a head start, no matter how quickly our army moves.
We should gather our allies before we march.
Can we wait for them? We should send our spies ahead to the Arbor Wilds.
Without support from the soldiers, you'd lose half of them.
Then what should we do?
You overcome it. All three of you together. Josephine, have our allies send scouts to meet us in the wilds. Liliana, your fastest agents will join them. Together, we'll have enough spies to slow down Corypheus' army until Cullen's soldiers arrive.
Such confidence. But the Arbor Wilds are not so kind to visitors. Old elven magic lingers in those woods.
We'd be remiss to not take advantage of your knowledge, Lady Morgan. Please, lend us your expertise.
'Tis why I came here, although it is good to see its value recognized.
Any further instructions, Inquisitor?
The Inquisition began as a handful of soldiers. Thanks to you, we're now a force that will topple a self-proclaimed god. I could ask for no finer counsel, no better guidance.
I speak for all of us when I answer. We could ask for no finer cause.
We'll hound Corypheus in the wilds before he can find the temple or this illuvion.
Inquisitor.
How goes the battle, Captain?
The Red Templars fall beneath our blades, your worship. Commander Cullen says they're nearly finished. Our scouts saw Corypheus traveling towards an elven ruin to the north. We can clear you a path through his armies.
Do only what you must. We need enough people for a celebration when we get back to Skyhold.
We will not fail you, my lord, no matter what comes. Andraste guide you, Inquisitor.
I wonder, is it Andraste your soldiers invoke during battle, or does a more immediate name come to their lips?
They show me respect, Morrigan. No one mistakes me for the Maker.
True. You are far more likely to come to their aid than a chantry fable. But I digress. If your scouts report accurately, I believe these ruins to be the Temple of Mathal.
Which is?
A place of worship out of elven legend. If Corypheus seeks it, then the Illuvian he covets lies within. Let us hope we reach this temple before the entire forest is reduced to ash.
What did I tell you? Thank you.
Listen to how close the fighting's gotten. It will be worse ahead.
If the soldiers aren't careful with their fires, they'll do Corypheus's work for him.
Do you sense the magic crackling? Some more powerful than the Red Templars stirs.
We can't send people east.
Empress Celine's general is just down the hill, Inquisitor. He wishes to join you.
last of those enslaved at Adamant.
If they are forced to obey him, death will be a blessing.
There, ahead. An entire camp of Red Templars.
Watch out. They've posted archers on the wall.
Were we just attacked by elves?
It seems this Temple of Mythal is not deserted after all.
Perhaps these creatures are the reason few return from the Arbor Wilds.
there? That must be the Temple of Mithar.
I hear fighting ahead.
Namelana Sabanalet.
The wretch mocks you, Master.
These are but remnants. They will not keep us from the Well of Sorrows.
Well of Sorrows?
Be honored. Witness death at the hands of a new god.
Cannot be!
Across the bridge! Now!
At last, Mathal's sanctum. Let us proceed before Corypheus interferes.
You said Corypheus wanted an eluvian, but he mentioned a Well of Sorrows. Which is right?
I am uncertain of what he referred to.
You were guessing. Corypheus might not be after this eluvian. It might not even be here.
Yes, I was wrong. Does that please you? Whatever the Well of Sorrows might be, Corypheus seeks it, and thus you must keep it from his grasp.
Let's find this well before Corypheus's people do. I want to know how Corypheus returned to life. We saw him die.
And his life force passes on to any blighted creature, Darkspawn, or Grey Warden.
And Corypheus cannot die. Destroy his body and he will assume another.
We'll find a way to stop him once we're done here.
'Tis strange. Archdemons possess the same ability, and still the Grey Wardens are able to slay them. Yet Corypheus, they locked away. It appears the temple's magics are still strong.
Is this Elven? Does it say anything about this Well of Sorrows?
Atishol vir Abalasan. It means enter the path of the Well of Sorrows.
There is something about knowledge, respectful or pure. Shivenen. 'Tis all I can translate. That it mentions the well is a good omen.
At least we know the Well of Sorrows was important.
Supplicants to Mythal would have first paid obeisance here. Following their path may aid entry.
Perform a ritual to appease elven gods? Long dead or no, I don't like it.
If need be, unless you wish to. Do not step any place you have stepped before. There can be no vacillation. This is where petitioners walked the path of their gods.
It is where they paid fealty to the gods. I have seen it, in the Fade. Only the reverent were permitted to touch this ground, and only in solemn contemplation.
Let us see what awaits. Yes?
Are you certain Corypheus is using the power of the Blight to make himself immortal?
Perhaps you forget. I was in Ferelden during the Fifth Blight. I have seen a true archdemon rage. How Corypheus gained the power to send his soul into blighted bodies, that is the real question.
Will answering that question let us destroy Corypheus for good?
Perhaps. I would suggest first dealing with the well. If Corypheus obtains it, any chance of success could be lost.
You've seen the elves here. They seem odd.
Indeed. Two things are possible. One, this is a group of Dalish separated from their brethren, cultists, fanatic in their desire to keep humans away. Two, these are elves descended from the ancients, having resided here since before the fall of Arlathan. The second appears unlikely, but if true, the implications are astounding.
If they keep records, it could change everything we thought we knew about history.
It is thrilling, no? To discover an era thought lost forever has possibly thrived in the shadows. We may, however, find these elves reluctant to part with their long-kept secrets.
Do you know what this part of the temple was used for?
The room we stand in is a vestibule, not the temple proper. To those who knew it, perhaps this ritual was little more than a polite knock at the gate. These customs must have been as familiar to ancient elves as bowing to a queen is to you or I.
I find it difficult to picture you curtsying to anyone.
Have we become so familiar you can predict my manners and customs now? Nothing is lost by indulging in the occasional civilized conduct, particularly when unexpected.
You said this Mythal was worshipped as a goddess.
So one assumes. What is a god but a being of immense power? The dread old gods were nothing more than dragons, after all. They rise as archdemons, and they die. Perhaps Mythal was a powerful elf, a ruler among her kind. History often plays storyteller with facts.
You admit lack of knowledge, and yet dismiss her so readily?
I do not dismiss her. I question her supposed divinity. One need not be a god to have value. Truthfully, I'm uncertain Mythal was even a single entity. The accounts are varied.
There are varied accounts of Mythal.
In most stories, Mythal rights wrongs while exercising motherly kindness. Let fly your voice to Mythal, deliverer of justice, protector of sun and earth alike. Other paint her as dark, vengeful. Pray to Mythal and she would smite your enemies, leaving them in agony.
More Dalish tales, I assume.
If you know more about this Solus, speak.
The oldest accounts say Mythal was both of these, and neither. She was the mother, protective and fierce. That is all I will say. This is not a place to stir up old stories.
Whatever the truth, all accounts of Mythal end the same. Exiled to the beyond with her brethren.
What do you mean, exiled?
Tricked by the Dread Wolf, as all the elven gods were said to be, trapped in a land beyond the Fade. Many Dalish believe this is why the elves fell from grace, and their gods did not save them. Or perhaps they were simply rulers slain by Tevinter. Who can say?
Let's continue.
As you wish. I see the Venatori have already encountered the temple's guardians.
A just death for these mages. But where are the killers?
Preparing another display of hospitality, no doubt. The Temple of Mythal, constructed in an age when elves, not men, dominated this land. They believed Mythal a goddess of justice. Elves came here to request judgment, after they proved their worth.
Silence has reigned here for time beyond memory.
Don't let them pass!
Might catch them.
Hold a moment. While they rush ahead, this leads to our true destination. We should walk the petitioner's path as before.
People are dying outside while we stand here. If we use the tunnel, more of our soldiers can flee.
In this case, I must agree with the witch. This is ancient ground, deserving of our respect.
You see the urgency? We cannot find the Well of Sorrows unprepared.
We don't know what's behind those doors. They might have a reason for going another way.
Had they the option, they would have proceeded. That must lead to their goal.
Their goal? Or yours?
There is a danger. to the natural order. Legends walked Thedas once, things of might and wonder. Their passing has left us all the lesser. Corypheus would squander the ancient power of the well. I would have it restored.
I should take your word that this is altruism and not hunger for power?
Yes. Far easier to believe the Witch of the Wild's full of greed. Mankind blunders through the world, crushing what it does not understand. Elves, dragons, magic. The list is endless. We must stem the tide, or be left with nothing more than the mundane. This I know to be true. I read more in the first chamber than I revealed. It said a great boon is given to those who use the Well of Sorrows, but at a terrible price.
What exactly did that altar say about the Well of Sorrows?
Like most elven writing, it was insufferably vague. The term I deciphered was Halam Shivanas, the sweet sacrifice of duty. It implies the loss of something personal for duty's sake, yet for those who served at this temple, a worthwhile trade.
Is your real goal the power inside this well?
Yes, if that is the only way to preserve it. My priority is your cause, but if the opportunity arises to save this well, I am willing to pay the cost.
And gain what?
That is what we must discover. The rituals may point the way. Will you abandon these rituals, Inquisitor? Think carefully. There is no return once we follow the Venatori. Yes.
Let's continue.
As you wish. Will you abandon these rituals, Inquisitor? Think carefully. There is no return once we follow the Venatori. Time to proceed to the next ritual, I should think.
Is complete.
We are close. There is but one more path to follow. Yes?
Let's continue.
As you wish. Yes? As you wish. Yes? As you wish. As you wish.
Everything is lit.
The whispers are louder.
Come, let us see if the doors have opened.
What's this?
I believe we are in the presence of the elven goddess Ondrul, Lady of the Hunt.
Or a goddess of sacrifice, according to some.
Truly? I wonder if that is why Ondrul's patron... 'Tis not what I expected. What was this chamber used for?
We're being watched.
Venavis. You are unlike the other invaders. You stumble down our paths at the side of one of our own. You bear the mark of magic, which is familiar. How has this come to pass? What is your connection to those who first disturbed our slumber?
They are my enemies, as well as yours.
I am called Abelas. We are sentinels, tasked with standing against those who trespass on sacred ground. We wake only to fight, to preserve this place. Our numbers diminish with each invasion. I know what you seek. Like all who have come before you, you wish to drink from the Vira Belasan.
The place of the Way of Sorrows. He speaks of the well.
It is not for you. It is not for any of you.
Solus, perhaps he'll listen to you.
What shall I say, Inquisitor? Shall I sway him from a millennia of service by virtue of our shared blood? He clings to all that remains of his world, because he lacks the power to restore it.
We did not come here to fight you, nor to steal from your temple.
I believe you. Trespassers you are, but you have followed rites of petition. You have shown respect to Mythal. If these others are enemies of yours, we will aid you in destroying them. When this is done, you shall be permitted to depart. And never return.
This is our goal, is it not? There is no reason to fight these sentinels.
Consider carefully. You must stop Corypheus, yes, but you may also need the well for your own.
I accept your offer.
You will be guided to those you seek. As for the Vira Belasan, it shall not be despoiled, even if I must destroy it myself.
No!
This would be our guide.
Mytholanast.
That's helpful, since Morrigan chased off on her own.
She seeks to protect the Well of Sorrows.
She turned into a bird.
This place looks untouched.
The entire temple must have looked like this long ago. How could the elves pour such devotion into this nonsense?
We can always ask our hosts.
I will leave that to you.
Henshra, Gilas Velathan.
I believe she would prefer that we remain close.
Just a quick look around. The Sentinels are holding against the Venatori.
We should hurry. Their numbers are not endless.
Vir Sumiel.
Shut
Well of Sorrows. So Mithal endures.
It's loud and so cold.
Andraste, guide us.
So close. The well knows its vessel, and those who would despoil it. Stand aside, Inquisitor. The trials you set me, I have overcome. As a courtesy, leave now. Or not at all.
No, Calpurnia. We have things to discuss.
True. I did not think you so civilized. You serve your people. You have one last chance to save them. The Well of Sorrows overflows with knowledge, power abandoned by those the elves worshipped as gods. To walk the Fade without the anchor. That is what the Well of Sorrows will give Corypheus.
Why would Corypheus think entering the Fade will work any better than last time?
Speech without understanding. I knew you would take the well for yourself, to ransack its wisdom to try to defeat Corypheus. But you'd still be just a child, playing with a sword. Corypheus will wield it as a master.
Once you've drunk from the well, Corypheus will use a ritual on you. You'll be a mindless tool, enslaved to his will.
Where I come from, idle tales must be proven.
Here, the page with his binding ritual. He tried it on your master, Erasthenes.
How could you know? And these runes, no one has written in these since... He made so many promises, and everyone a lie! Then he discovered Vas! He was to give Tevinter a true leader. If Corypheus would misuse me, he'd misuse them too. I was blind.
Perhaps Tevinter does need a strong leader. Be that woman, while you still can.
You mock me, Inquisitor, as if you'd let me walk away.
The Inquisitor is showing you great mercy, mage. Do not waste it.
If Corypheus triumphs... Listen, if any power can challenge him, it lies in the well. Perhaps its price is too high, but if you can take it, humble him. Vitae Benefaria, Inquisitor. Do not follow us. I will give you some time. I go to confront my master. Then I will return to Tevinter. If there is anything left of me.
Abelard!
You heard his parting words, Inquisitor. The elf seeks to destroy the Well of Sorrows.
So the Sanctum is despoiled at last.
You would have destroyed the well yourself, given the chance.
To keep it from your grasping fingers. Better it be lost than bestowed upon the undeserving.
Fool. You'd let your people's legacy rot in the shadows.
Corypheus needed Calpurnia to use the well. Without her, there's no vessel to claim it.
The moment we leave, he will send more forces to secure this place. The well clearly offers power, Inquisitor. If that power can be turned against Corypheus, can you afford not to use it?
Do you even know what you ask? As each servant of Mithal reached the end of their years, they would pass their knowledge on through this. all that we were, all that we knew, it would be lost forever.
It's better that knowledge remain in the well, never passed on. You'd rather destroy it.
There are other places, friend, other duties. Your people yet linger.
Elven such as you?
Yes, such as I.
You have shown respect to Mythal, and there is a righteousness in you I cannot deny. Is that your desire? To partake of the Vira Belasan as best you can? To fight your enemy?
Not without your permission.
One does not obtain permission. One obtains the right. The Vira Belasan may be too much for a mortal to comprehend. Brave it if you must. But know you this. You shall be bound forever to the will of Mythal.
Bound to a goddess who no longer exists, if she ever did?
Bound as we are bound. The choice is yours.
Is it possible this Mythal might still exist?
Anything is possible.
Elven legend states that Mythal was tricked by Fen-Harel and banished to the Beyond.
Elven legend is wrong. The Dread Wolf had nothing to do with her murder.
Murder? I said nothing of...
She was slain, if a god truly can be. Betrayed by those who destroyed this temple. Yet the Vira Belasan remains. As do we. That is something.
Are you leaving the temple?
Our duty ends. Why remain?
There is a place for you, Lethaline, if you seek it.
Perhaps there are places the Shamlin have not touched. It may be that only Uthenera awaits us. The blissful sleep of eternity never to awaken, if fate is kind.
You could come with us. Fight Corypheus. He killed your people.
We killed ourselves. Long ago.
Malas Amalin Nahalam Abalas. His name, Abalas, means sorrow. I said, I hoped he finds a new name.
You'll note the intact Illuvian. I was correct on that count, at least.
Is it still a threat? Can Corypheus use it to travel the Fade?
You recall when I took you through my Illuvian, I said each required a key? The well is the key. Take its power, and Mythal's last Illuvian will be no more use to Corypheus than glass. I did not expect the well to feel so... hungry.
Seems like that should be a concern.
Knowledge begets a hunger for more. I am willing to pay the price the well demands. I am also the best suited to use its knowledge in your service.
Or more likely to your own ends?
What would you know of my ends, elf?
You are a glutton drooling at the sight of a feast. You cannot be trusted.
Of those present, I alone have the training to make use of this. Let me drink, Inquisitor.
What training makes you so qualified?
I have studied the oldest lore. I have delved into mysteries of which you could only dream. Can you honestly tell me there is anyone better suited?
What about you, Solus?
No. Do not ask me again.
I don't know who's better suited, and neither do you.
I have the best chance of making use of the well. For everyone. Let me drink.
What's to stop you from taking the knowledge and leaving?
My word. If that seems insufficient, Corypheus threatens all. Even myself. He must be stopped.
And who stops you?
I, Inquisitor, seek neither immortality nor your life.
Thoughts?
She is right about only one thing. We should take the power which lies in that well.
If it is truly between you and her, then let her take the risk. Make her help us all.
So many voices. They would be in your head, talking over you. You don't want them.
Enough deliberation. Give me your decision.
Looking at it, listening to it. That's not just knowledge from the ancient elven priests. It's their will.
How would you know such a thing?
That's what Abelas was telling us. The collective will of the priests puts anyone who drinks under a compulsion. A gas. Can't you feel it?
That would match the legends, but it does not tell us what the gas entails. I would still use the well, but you are right. We must be cautious.
It's yours. Morrigan? Are you all right?
Elasin Salah. Visan Allah. I am intact. There is much to sift through. But now we can... It is done.
I'm pleased to report we won the battle, Inquisitor. When you went through that mirror, Corypheus and his archdemon fled the field. I'm not sure why.
What he wanted was no longer within the temple.
Perhaps. He spent so long trying to get into the temple, he probably couldn't have helped his forces by that point.
Then Corypheus is finished.
If he is wise, he will hide and rebuild his strength before he attacks again.
He will not hide.
You sound pretty certain when you say that.
The Well of Sorrows held many voices, and they speak to me now from across the ages. They hold wisdom. Secrets I never dreamed possible. But even they fear what Corypheus has become.
Should we fear him more than his army?
Possibly. Luckily for you, he has a weakness. The dragon he calls is not truly an archdemon. It is a dragon in which Corypheus has infested part of his being. He doubtless did so out of pride to emulate the gods of old. That pride can be exploited. Kill the dragon, and his ability to leap into other bodies is disrupted. He can be slain.
Just kill his dragon? Why didn't we think of that before?
There is a way to defeat the dragon, to match Corypheus in his power. The well whispers it to me now. Your help will be required, Inquisitor. Speak to me when you are ready, and we shall begin.
I'll see to Skyhold's defenses in the meantime.
We'll be spread thin until the rest of our forces return from the Arbor Wilds.
Of course. Letters are pouring in from all corners. Congratulations, pledges of loyalty, conversions to Andraste.
All premature until we deal with Corypheus.
Let us begin. We must plan for you to fight one last duel, my darling. This time for all of us. Once you find Corypheus, I suppose we must... wait.
I'll be thinking of you every step past Skyhold.
Flattering, but you have my permission to think of your battle. Please be sure to. I hope that you'll... Maker, I wish you didn't have to go.
I'll come back from this fight alive. I swear it.
I'll take you at your word. I must attend to some tasks before you draw out our enemy. Do go before I begin to cry.
So, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around this. We went to an elven rune, so a witch could consume a pool of magical goo and then walked through a mirror. And wound up back here. Have I mentioned that the shit that happens to you is crazy? I don't want to think about this anymore. You want to discuss something normal?
Tell me more about Bianca.
I'm not making any promises here. Ask.
So how long have the two of you been together?
Well, if you want to split hairs, we're not. Usually there's a continent between us at all times. We write letters. Now and then we manage to meet up. I don't know if that's together. Shit, it's been what, 15 years? Great. Now I feel old. Thanks.
I guess that's it for now.
Sure. I'll be here.
The Temple of Mythal was extraordinary. In all my journeys, I never dreamed of finding anything like it. What will you do with the power of the well once Corypheus is dead?
I won't know the answer until Corypheus is defeated.
Yet they are already asking you to answer. Restore the Chantry? Destroy the Chantry? If you do nothing, someone else will answer in your stead. Whatever you do, choose wisely. Forgive my melancholy. Corypheus has cost us much. The Temple of Mythal did not deserve such a fate. The orb he carries, and its stolen power, that at least we may still recover. With luck, some of the past may yet survive.
Thank you, Solus. We couldn't have done this without you.
You are welcome. My friend.
I need to know more about Corypheus.
You have waylaid all his other plans. Now, as a petulant child, he will destroy the game board rather than admit defeat. Be ready for anything. He still believes himself a god, and gods do not fall gracefully.
I'd be interested in hearing your opinions on elven culture.
Perhaps you could ask Sarah. She has opinions.
You don't much care for Sarah, do you?
I pity her. Although I imagine she would detest that. Perhaps in truth, I envy her. She has a purity of purpose that I lack. I have observed too much and done too little. What do you wish to know?
Is elven magic different from the magic used by humans?
No and yes. Magic is magic, just as water is water, but it can be used in different ways. Dalish magic is more practical, not needing chantry approval, although they still frown on blood magic. Superstition. Much of it is more subtle. A legacy from when elves were immortal.
Legends of elven immortality. Did they use magic to increase their lifespan?
No. It was simply part of being elven. The subtle beauty of their magic was the effect, not the cause of their nature. Some spells took years to cast. Echoes would linger for centuries, harmonizing with new magic in an unending symphony. It must have been beautiful.
I'd like to know more about the Dalish elves.
It is a mistake to think of the Dalish as a single group. They have lived as separate clans for centuries now. As a consequence, each clan has learned, interpreted, and forgotten different parts of elven history. Some trade freely with humans, or adopt city elves who flee the alienages. Others attack humans on sight.
I'd like to know more about the elves from before our time.
The Dalish strive to remember Hallam Sharal, but Hallam Sharal was merely a fumbling attempt to recreate a forgotten land.
Arlathan.
Elvanan was the Empire, and Arlathan its greatest city. Place of magic and beauty, lost to time.
You've studied ancient elves. What else do you know of Arlathan?
We hear stories of them living in trees, and imagine wooden ramps or Dalish Erebels. Imagine instead spires of crystal twining through the branches, palaces floating among the clouds. Imagine beings who lived forever, for whom magic was as natural as breathing. That is what was lost.
What can you tell me about elves living in human cities?
The culture in alienages or among the slaves of Tevinter is like any of the impoverished and powerless. They cling to memories of a better past, and practice a few rituals to distinguish themselves from humans.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
What happened at the Elven Temple? It's got me thinking. I should go back, shouldn't I? To Tevinter. Once this is done. If we're still alive. All my talk of how terribly wrong things are back home. But what do I do about it? Nothing.
Someone with your impeccable taste could transform Tevinter.
I hope you're right. You usually are. It might surprise you to know that you're the one who inspired me. You're shaping the world, for good or ill. How could I aspire to do any less? If it means proving that Tevinter can be better, that there's hope even for my homeland, I would do anything. Interesting story. I was speaking with your ambassador not long ago. Dearest Josephine, I said, how remarkably distracted and flush you seem. Whatever could be the reason. And she dropped her pen. Bravo, Inquisitor.
I should go.
Naturally.
Did you know that Seeker Cassandra's ancestor lived for over 120 years?
A request has been made of you, Inquisitor. Here it is.
What is your evaluation of how we're doing?
I am able to pursue my duties with optimal efficiency, thanks to Skyhold's present state.
As you were.
Yes, Inquisitor.
My dear, I know you must have a great deal on your mind right now, but I need to speak with you. You know as well as I how far the Inquisition's influence has spread, and how desperate the Grand Clerics have become. Our opinion will be instrumental in their election of the new divine.
What do you suggest?
The Inquisition may not be invited to their vote, but our actions will certainly influence the Grand Clerics. To sit on the Sunburst throne, a candidate should have grace, charm, and a will of solid steel. Cassandra may lack the first two, but unless you can think of someone better, she is the strongest choice.
Leliana might be a better choice than Cassandra, don't you think?
Leliana is a well-meaning fool. She will do irreparable harm to countless people in the name of freedom. She proposes to abolish the circles with nothing but a solemn promise from mages not to murder children. When an angry mage lashes out inside a tower, villages aren't destroyed. The circle protects us all. Mages will die and take ordinary men with them in a war that cannot be won. Consider carefully, Inquisitor. Everything we do is a sign from the Maker to those who seek one. It's been quite the momentous day, hasn't it, my dear? We should probably give some thought to the very likely possibility that Morrigan will use her new power against us.
What's our plan if she does?
Circle records have limited information on shapeshifting. There are mentions of counterspells that may prevent mages from transforming or from reverting to their true forms. I have my people researching these spells now. If they have ever been documented, I'll find them. The pieces are nearly in place. We'll soon strike against Corypheus directly. You've done well. I will be proud to fight alongside you when the time comes.
I always have time for you, my dear.
What are your thoughts about the others in the Inquisition?
Whether Cole is a spirit or a demon is irrelevant. Neither can be trusted, my dear. Remember that.
I was pondering who might be divine, and it suddenly occurred to me. Is it so ridiculous for the Grand Clerics to support me? Why shouldn't they?
If you were divine, what would you do?
Change things. Change everything. No more circles. The mages will be free. The Chantry will accept them as the Maker's children. In fact, it will accept everyone. Elves, dwarves, even Canary. Why exclude them? The Chantry allows our differences to tear us apart, instead of teaching us how we are the same.
I think you would make a good divine.
I am glad to hear it. Your support may persuade the Grand Clerics to vote in my favor. Justinia wanted the Chantry to grow, but her reforms never took root. She was held back by tradition and was too gentle to force change. I won't make that mistake.
You can't force people to change their minds.
Then how will change ever come? People do not simply happen upon enlightenment. Most must be carried there. Justinia thought the circles needed to change. But why stop there? The Chantry alienated potential allies by brutalizing elves and belittling dwarves. If we could bring them into the fold, wouldn't we have peace? There are those who would cling to the old ways, of course. But they will see. I would make them see. But I've rambled on too long. I am not divine. Yet. So if we kill Corypheus, he has the power to move from one tainted creature into another? What we will learn next? That he can command the sun to rise or the seas to burn?
No matter how powerful he is, there's a way to defeat him, and we'll find it.
I hope you're right. I have researchers scouring the Temple of Mythal as we speak. I hope that their search turns up something we can use. Ancient magic, perhaps. Something even Corypheus missed. Anything to give us an edge.
I'll leave you to your work.
Your worship.
The war in Olay has claimed too many lives. I pray that it's over for good.
Nothing right now. Perhaps in a bit.
Inquisitor.
What's been going on?
Dorian's awfully pretty, isn't he?
I should go.
Once we were in our peace with our lives assured.
Most of the charges are still at the Temple of Mythal. I'm Mr. Crazy Fine.
I wanted to talk about you, if that's all right.
You know, I'm from Tevinter. Wasn't a slave, but even citizens have it rough if they're not mages. I was a soldier, but women joined the ranks under a different program. When they found out I was passing, it got ugly. I ran, at ball near the border, and ended up here. Not a life I'd wish on everyone, but it'll do.
We'll talk later.
So to kill Corypheus, all we have to do is kill his dragon first? That's easy. We're good at killing shit. Just one more big fight to put this Magister asshole down for good. I knew you'd get us here, boss.
It's been an honor, Bull.
Oh, don't get like that. This isn't goodbye. We're kicking this guy's ass. Pleasure as always, boss.
Once we sat in the light of our dreams.
Inquisitor. I hope it's not me.
Oh, hi you. Strange days, right? Weird elves and Morrigan going wading. Better her than you. Glad to be back where things make sense after the demon-worshipping lies of Mythal. When do we go after What's-His-Lumps?
You seem pretty certain. You don't believe anything from Mythal.
Course not. What, I should believe all that stuff? Because elves? I mean, it was impressive and all. Makes the Dalish look like tits for living in the woods, but so what? There can't be a bunch of gods and the Maker. Don't matter how much or little you believe, those don't fit. So call me stupid, but I believe the stuff not made up by dead people who failed. Mythal is a ruin full of demons. I mean, it just makes sense, right?
There's so much history there. What if some of it is true?
No, now you're stupid. You can't think that because it's stupid.
But everything we saw...
Why believe it? Because Abalas looked weird? If that's all it takes, Coryphe's shitheel is full of lumpy truth. You're not even an elf. Why are you being so damned elfy? You're the frigging herald of Andraste. Every time you open your mouth, you'll sound like an idiot.
The Inquisition is probably used to me sounding like an idiot.
Not for me to say, yeah. Just saying. Anyway, believe what you want. So long as we kill Carifi fish. Whatever. You have a problem. That, over there, is a full tavern. But everyone's drinking alone. They're all up their own arses about the Inquisition. I can't have fun with everybody whinging. And they'll fall on their swords before Coryphanus can push them. I'm thinking pranks. Set a few up, knock a few down. You in or not?
You have an odd idea of preparation. I need to keep them at their best.
What's best then, Mopey? Constantly ready for death to fall from the gaping hole up there. I know people. Pissed off and fired up is better than dreary bleary. Come on.
Lead the way.
What, really?
Really?
I knew you were different. Let's go. Right, General Uptight is gone. Have a search about. Find something to mess with and give your soldiers a laugh. What, the desk? Oh yes, center of the Empire and all that. What to do, what to do.
All right, Sarah. What do you want to do?
Thing looks heavy. Don't want to move or break it. I got it. Easy one. Just a slip of something under here. There, won't notice much, but it's just that little bit wonky. He's so in control that'll piss him royally. I tell one of the soldiers and boom! The general seems like people. And since he works for you, you seem like people. Come on, next one! Right, little lady prissy pants. Have a look for something she likes too much. What, just the door? Where she greets every important idiot? Yes!
Well, Sarah, what do you have in mind?
Get a bucket. Classic, yeah? 5 minutes of sloppy boss gets you weeks of happy kitchen staff. Except for the one who cleans it up, I suppose. But whatever. Next up. What's that? A locked... No, leave that. Not interested in her hidden things. Not for just a bit of fun. Maybe... feed her messengers something gassy? And no, birds don't pop. But they flap and...
Who is up there?
Go!
That was fun. An inquisitor of the people, still remembering you're one of them. If all they got was the herald stuff, the serious bit, you'd start to sound pretty scary. That works, but not for long.
Whatever it takes. I'll start throwing pies if it kept people inspired.
Pies is so good, and Coryphanus would never do that. Good thing for you, innit? Because from the bottom, everyone up top sort of seems the same. Anyway, fun time, Inquisitor. You! Oh, frig. You did it!
Empress of fire in the reign of the lion, eclipsed in the eye of the empire of we are Lysians.
Corypheus died, and then he didn't. That's why he always felt wrong, like he didn't fit inside himself. He wears another man's life. I thought dying was forever.
It's hard for any of us to make sense of. Corypheus is using ancient magic.
But is it him? Is he real? If a man can be dead and then not, could I have saved the real Cole?
What happened to him wasn't your fault.
It gnawed at me, hooks in the hollows, pain of not knowing like the knot in his belly. But that is a hurt, and hurts can heal. I can heal. Forget.
Cole? Cole? Are you?
You may still use that name, if you like. I am here to help you. He meant to watch forever. He called himself Sorrow.
I'll talk to you later.
Yes.
I'm pleased to hear it.
Will you be coming to the readings? After what happened, I just assumed.
After the destruction of a holy place.
Victory in the Arbor Wilds. The archdemon might have been a real threat to our army, but it flew off once we turned the tide. It is still out there, however. I wonder what Corypheus plans now.
We'll deal with whatever he throws at us.
Do not underestimate Corypheus. He is powerful, and you have yet to fight him one-on-one. But he will come. You will get your chance.
You don't seem concerned about that.
I am terrified. Yet I have faith in you. Not long ago, this was impossible to imagine. You, a valued friend, victory close at hand. The time has come to consider what will come next.
You'll be the next divine, I assume.
That has not happened yet.
But it may.
If the Maker wills it, then yes, I will answer his call. Blessed are they who stand before the corrupt and the wicked, and do not falter. You have come far, my friend. It has been an honor.
Do not fail yourself, Inquisitor. That is the one thing a Reaver cannot do. Let's not waste time. You've dragons to conquer, infusions to make, and blood to drink.
I'm not making this decision now.
Though all before me is shadow, yet shall the Maker be my guide. I shall not be left to wander the drifting roads of the beyond. For there is no darkness in the Maker's light, and nothing that he has wrought shall be lost.
A prayer for you.
For those we have lost, and those I am afraid to lose.
I'm glad you haven't lost your faith.
I've questioned it at times, but I found comfort in faith when life offered little. Corypheus will retaliate. It's only a matter of time. We must draw strength wherever we can.
Are we prepared?
We will be. I should return to my duties. There's more to be done.
It's Taven's party.
The one after Elfie history? Figures. That's a bunch of dead all the way back.
Looks like they tried to fight back, but most were unarmed. Poor buggers. Never stood a chance.
There should be Inquisition soldiers here. These are our men.
Who serve Corypheus willingly deserve no mercy. Let us thin their ranks. The Emerald Knights. They once patrolled the borders of the Dales, protecting the elven people. The Dalish saw them as romantic heroes. The Chantry called them ruthless butchers. I suspect both sides have some element of truth.
His men had part of a seal. Do they even know what it opens?
Taven's interest must have been enough to draw their attention.
Let's look around.
let me do it.
Perhaps if I made an attempt.
Just let me do it.
feel another of the elven artifacts. Good. That should help strengthen the veil.
Want help with that?
Down you go!
This is it. Whatever Taven hoped to find, it's here. It's an account of the Red Crossing. When the elves attacked that town, it prompted the exalted march of the Dales.
Taven would want the Dalish to have this.
I imagine the Chantry would be interested in it as well.
Nothing to report, sir. thought so. Need anything?
in there, but she's actually been fooling knobs all along. Good too.
Milady's adept at her special brand of warfare.
All smiles and pleases, like giving us their stuff. Does them a favor twice over. And they love her for it. Best idea ever. Have to steal that one.
Yes, Sarah. You go right on ahead.
Inquisitor.
Ah, your worship. Just watching out for local wildlife. Little glory, but it has to be done. It's just one bear that's become a problem. A huge one. Bigger than I've ever seen. It's rampaged through camp a few times, ripping apart our supplies. One of our workers broke his leg trying to get away. Next time, we might not be so lucky. It must be upset that we're in its territory. It's it or us, so far as it's concerned.
Good to see you again.
I found something about Red Crossing in Danan Hanin.
If you went to the Emerald Graves, did you see Tavin and the others?
They were killed. I'm sorry.
I am too. Sorry, but not surprised. Thank you for bringing this to me. It is part of our tale and will be cherished. May your gods watch over you, friend.
workers can go about their jobs in peace now. It's a shame the bear had to be killed.
Nothing to report, sir.